Hey everybody. Look who is with me today. It's my wonderful friend and mentor, the amazing Traci Weafer. Yay! Together again. Look at us.
I miss you.
I miss you too. I miss you too. So first and foremost, Alabama has something to celebrate today, right?
We
Something
do,
really
and
awesome happened.
I've been crying. So, our decriminalization bill, which will make it so certified professional midwives can attend home births in Alabama, make that possible. Because right now, they can't, right? Okay,
Yep.
so they will be arrested if they attend or help women in home births, which logically we know is ridiculous. So this has been a long time, and today it passed the House.
It's amazing. It's
So,
amazing. This is
yeah.
a long time coming. And I am really kind of a rookie on the scene because I've only been involved for the last 4 years, almost 5 years, I guess. And this has been going on for 16, 17 years that we've been
Well,
working on it.
I started 13 years ago. So I really don't know how long, maybe a couple of years, putting together, just the coalition in general. But people come and go. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's a hard ball game. So I think people would, need to leave, and then those that were energized could do a little work, and then people would come back and just come and go, and it's been long, but I think that's why it's survived so long, and
Yeah.
That's why we got to where we are, because we just came and went and helped each other, and it was good. So here we are today. So on to the Senate.
And wow, I mean, it has never made it to the floor before. So it's never made it past committee onto the floor. So this is having passed the House is huge, such a big deal.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
for all the women in Alabama, in Alabama, for those people who are watching in Idaho, where I am, moms in Alabama have had fewer choices. They have either had to go over the border to Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi. They've had to have an unassisted home birth, or a midwife has attended under the radar. Maybe not. So, this is huge for the women of Alabama and for the families of Alabama to have more choices, more options. And if you know the history of midwifery in Alabama, it's a really, really rich, beautiful history. And so everybody, my heart just rejoices. This is huge. This is such a big deal. So, yeah, big deal.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm still kind of stunned. Like, I have to sit here and think, wow, it's just kind of surreal a little bit, but long day.
It's been a long fight. So, what else should we talk about, Traci? Now that we covered that, because that's like the super exciting thing that's happened today that we're super excited about.
Becca, what do you want to talk about? Since you are there and I am here, what would you like to talk about I mean, I think that culturally, I mean, starting out with us just now being able to have CPMs in our state would kind of be a little bit odd for where you are, because y'all have the option of home birth.
Right. Yeah.
So we're kind of in two different, you know, cultural territories.
Totally. Whoops. Did you just freeze on me?
As far as burn, you know, sometimes moms.
Uh-oh. I think I may have just lost her. She may be a little bit frozen. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna give it one more second to see what's going on. Oh no, I lost her. Maybe she's coming back. Anyway, there she is. She's back. There
I'm here.
she is. I lost you for a minute.
I don't like to be lost.
I know. It just completely went dead there for a minute.
Technology is not okay sometimes.
What's that?
The technology is not okay sometimes.
I know.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the two, you know, we're in different cultures. In Idaho, home birth is, for lack of a better term, normal.
My husband's home.
Hi, Fred. Where in Alabama, home birth is still kind of a foreign concept. So it's interesting to come. I almost feel like I've, like, coming from Alabama and working most of my experience in Alabama, I feel like I've kind of, like, fast forwarded or like 20 years all of a sudden with things that are available to moms, both in and out of the hospital setting, that haven't been available in Alabama. And it's been really interesting. And in a lot of ways given me a lot of hope, because if it can happen here, it can happen there, right?
Yes.
So,
I mean, absolutely. We just have to get, we just have to get the powers that be to kind of catch up on statistical facts and the trust, because, where I am, it is very traditional and inexperienced in how they practice, and it's not necessarily, and they're just not used to home birth. It's not, it's not that they hate it. It's just they've never done it, and they've never seen it. And so they have a different, you just have to start one step at a time and try to help make that option available and educate the doctors, and, even midwives that do hospital births sometimes get really nervous about home births because they've never done it before.
Right.
So, team building and, and all that kind of stuff comes into play, with all that.
Yeah.
But it's exciting, and I think it is good for, places like where you are, for moms to realize that, you have it pretty good right now for the options that you have.
Yeah.
So be thankful for, thinking to yourself, wow, I'm pregnant. So do I want to have a home birth? Okay, maybe I don't want to do that. Do I want a birthing center birth with a midwife? Okay, maybe I'm not really comfortable with that. And then you have the hospital option. So, that they need to understand where Alabama is also. And I think that there's kind of well, what are y'all, what are you fighting for? Or what, what's the deal and all that. So it's good to just see like a national perspective of birth.
Right.
I think we all need to get back to recognizing just birth in general is a normal, natural thing. And if we can do that, then we can kind of move mountains, sort of. So,
and I would say, I think in a lot of ways, the home birth or the Midwifery Freedom Act is hopeful to me, not just for moms who would choose a home birth, but also for moms who would choose a hospital birth, because I think it's going to hopefully help care providers become a little bit more, for lack of a better term, progressive, I guess, to be a little bit more competitive with some of the things that moms might find in home birth. I know the hospital here that I have worked in here has labor tubs, and they have, big jacuzzi jetted tubs, and they have balls, and they have other things that in most of the hospitals in Alabama are not yet available. And so I'm hoping for the moms that choose hospital birth in Alabama, that it will kind of help bring, I guess, maybe a competitive nature. And maybe
I think so. I think so too. Nationwide, there's only, like 1% of moms that want to give birth outside of hospitals anyway.
Right.
And that's even in the most progressive places. So, yes and no. I don't see it pulling so much from the hospital system. Because the majority of moms here do want to go to the hospital, which I think is fine. That's why I do, what I do. That's why we do what we do. We support moms for whatever birth they want. Mm-hmm. And, so I don't really see it. Competitive, maybe. I just see it being a springboard to get everybody on the same page about birth. Let's not be frightened. Let's not, oh no, she's having a baby. Let's bring the normalcy back to birth and the excitement back to birth, and not the fear of, oh no, she's having a baby. And that's what I'm excited about. So tell me what you're doing.
What am I doing? Well, right now, I've been working on a lot of henna. I made a bunch of henna.
I love your henna. It's so pretty.
Henna has been a very beautiful thing for me to get into. So I never thought I was a very artistic person, and I have always had an interest in henna. And I just always thought it was just beautiful. And so, a year and a half, 2 years ago, I got some, and I started practicing, and it has been such a calming release for me. It is very much my self-care. And I have found that it is such a wonderful thing to share, especially with the mamas that I work with. It's really not only kind of self-care for me, relaxing for me, but for the people that I share it with, it's relaxing and calming and joyful and comforting. And so right now I'm kind of honing in on those skills, and looking for mamas who, really anybody who would like henna, but specifically mamas who kind of need some pampering and some love. I am getting to know my fellow doulas in the area, and they're all pretty incredible. I've been really impressed by what I've seen, and the heart of the birth workers here has been touching and beautiful. Um, the heart of the other doulas that we are not in competition, but we're here for each other, to support each other. That has been, I think in the last 2 weeks, I've had 4 or 5 other doulas reach out to me and ask me to go to coffee or lunch, which has been really awesome, really touching. And I am really excited to serve in the community here. I'm really excited to serve in the mamas and the other doulas and the midwives and the OBs and the nurses and the families and the dads and the grandparents and on and on and on. So it's really kind of exciting to return home and bring these skills and the love that I have back with me. So that's what I'm doing. In addition to raising 3 kids and moving into our house and setting up our new home and all of that kind of stuff. So how about you? What are you doing?
I can make a list.
What are you not doing? No.
Right. What am I not doing? As far as just the juggling the family with doula work, and I got to talking about somebody the other day and talking about how do you juggle having children that are at home and you're trying to be a mom and trying to be a doula. So that was an interesting conversation because I think we all as doulas are trying to still figure that out. But I'm lucky that mine are almost gone. And so, I can totally dive in. So for whoever's going to watch this needs to know that all the stuff that I'm doing is I have no little babies. And I'm, because there was a time where I was and homeschooling kids and that kind of thing. And that's when I did most of my education and that kind of stuff. But the action now is really excited because I don't have little ones that depend so much on me that I have to be here all the time. So I, of course, with my doula work and all that goes along with that, I can take more clients. So I offered the secondary the secondary client, which I hate to call her secondary because she's not really. The only thing that makes that secondary is if I'm with my primary first client for that month, and if I just so happen miss her birth because I'm with the other birth. That's the only thing that makes her secondary. She gets everything else the other. Work with a backup because my backup moved.
Sorry.
Which we really didn't back up as much as we were just doing births together. Yeah. And there didn't come a time where we were saying that hey, I need you for this one or I need you for that one. Of course, we always said if you were sick or if you needed me up. And I think that that's another thing that doulas need to, especially new doulas, need to understand that we hold a responsibility to our clients when we take them.
Yeah.
And, we need to make sure that we're not just taking clients because they're hiring us, but we can absolutely give them what they deserve from our services. And, if they have a backup and they work together, that's great. I think
right.
and that's more of a partnership. That's not right. necessarily a backup system. Yeah. So the terminology is a little bit different there too. I did that. And I'm praying for, I'm praying for, a closer doula, that I can help out and can help me out. So we'll see with that. And then, I teach the natural childbirth class, for those who want it. And then I'm an evidence-based birth instructor, so I can give all kind of really cool information out about that. I can also teach the evidence-based birth workshops for parents, which is outstanding. And it's about how to get evidence-based care, which is, you know, for, and I don't know if you have an evidence-based birth instructor even near you, Becca, but it's with the options that you and your moms have, those workshops would actually benefit those people more because they're trying to navigate this huge system. You know, we have one choice. I mean, and you know, yes, it's important to find the provider that's going to give you evidence-based care, but there's so much more that goes along with that, like your setting and where you're going to get really good outcomes for your setting, and then knowing your rights. So so I do that for parents, but then I'm also able to give a workshop for professionals, for doulas, for labor and delivery nurses, for midwives, for anybody that wants to, you know, navigate their system and to take care of the people that they're taking care of with evidence-based care. And so that's exciting to me. I love it. I love all that. But right now, and my main focus is not even the midwifery thing. It is to make sure that moms are getting good care as far as informed consent, and what that means, what that looks like to the local hospital that I do most of the births at, and so that's kind of where I'm at, which is pretty much all over the place.
All of this in addition to planning a wedding.
Oh, yes, planning a wedding. And then I have my two oldest kids are graduating college in 2 weeks. Don't tell them I said high school. So yeah, I'm pretty busy, but it's at the tail end of my kids, you know, kids being kids. So yeah. I can't. You are excited and want to jump in, and I know I've talked to you, Becca, about this. It takes time. Yeah. And we can be really excited about serving women, but if you do one thing well for the community that you're in, then you're doing what you're supposed to do. So when you hear, you know, me or anybody or somebody say, oh, I have a list of services, or this is what I'm doing, or I'm adding childbirth education, or I'm adding placenta encapsulation, or whatever, mm-hmm. You know, that doesn't make you a better doula. That makes you busy. that makes you, you know, that makes you just offering more services. That doesn't make you a better person, because right. if you were only taking clients and doing births, and you're doing that to 110% of your ability, then you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Totally.
But yes, if I survive this year,
you'll survive. Next up, book by Traci Weafer.
But you know, I have enjoyed more. No. You know, I have enjoyed more, you know, mentoring other doulas in, you know, navigating difficult births and things like that. And we've talked a lot about that. You know, I think that we have a expectation of how we're supposed to be at a birth, or if something didn't go right, or if a mom didn't meet her goal, then we're just crushed. and it's hard. I mean, it's difficult. I've been crushed several times.
Yes.
But we
Yes.
need to support each other and talk about that stuff.
Right.
And um, and it's good. I'm thrilled to hear that you're in a community that y'all are loving each other, and you're trying to help each other out, because everybody is different. Everybody brings something to the table, and that's what it's about. I think if a community, I mean, I'm in my little community. I mean, there's other doulas an hour away, but in my little town, I'm kind of it. And so, sometimes I'll be interviewing with somebody and I'll say, go, search, really make sure that I'm who you need, because I don't want to be hired because I'm the only one here. I want to be hired because you need me.
Right.
So I'm thrilled to to hear that, because you'll know something that somebody else needs to hear.
Right.
And she might, I mean, because you've even taught me a lot when we were together. So, don't think that just because you moved there and you're like, okay, I'm the new kid on the block, that doesn't mean that you don't have anything to give the ones that have always lived there.
Right. Right.
So, and that, and we've talked about that too. But I'm thrilled that they get you. I miss you, but I'm thrilled that they get you.
I do.
So
it's a funny feeling, because I feel like really, really just energetic and excited, because here I am in a community where birth is somewhat is just different, and I'm excited to delve in and attend home birth and get to know everybody here, and then torn totally in half, because I'm like, oh, that doctor and that nurse and that midwife and Tracy and those moms. I've had some moms reach out to me and say, I'm pregnant again and I wish you were here. And I'm like, oh, that just rips my heart out. But, what's meant to be will be. And, there are moms here that I know I can serve and I'm supposed to serve. And I know those moms there are really well taken care of. And so, it's just kind of a funny feeling of being my heart in two different places, and really loving and learning to embrace each community for what it holds and what it has taught me. And that, I mean, there's just great wealth of knowledge and beauty in both of the communities, even though they're very different. So
but think about what you have learned here, and you're able to go over there and say, I mean, nobody can really, I mean, you've got so much more experience than you would have had if you had just started out there. I mean, you've been to another place. You know what goes on over here, and that does form different mindsets. It does you have a different perspective because of that. And so, I mean, that's exciting. I mean, I miss you, but I am totally a little bit jealous of where you are.
Well, you even have to come visit.
Well, I mean, even to be able to just say, because it does break my heart when somebody emails or calls or, that says a birthing center birth, and I can't say, hey, we have that.
Right. Hey, 2 seconds. There's somebody at my door. I'm so sorry. 2 seconds. Thank you so much. Sorry, the mail service here is still figuring out where I live, and so they delivered a package for me to someone else. So, yeah, so the girl had to drop it by.
Oh, funny.
So, go back upstairs, guys. All my kids heard the doorbell, and now they're all coming down.
Right.
They think it might be somebody exciting.
Well, Becca was cooking, and I don't hear her in the kitchen anymore. So.
It's for mommy. No. Levi wants to know if my package is elderberry. You know what I normally get in the mail is elderberry.
That's funny. Of course it's elderberry.
For once, it's something different. It's something for mommy. I'll show you later, okay? Go back upstairs.
That's good. I like it. I like it. That's good.
I guess they know me well.
It's funny. Yeah, but...
Well, I am trying to think what else we should talk about. I was watching another person broadcast the other day, and she's in Portland, I think, and not to totally hijack her topic, but she was talking about doulas and some of the same concepts that you taught me, you know, like everybody can be a doula, right? We all have what is in it, like the ability to serve each other. But then she started talking about the thought of being a birth keeper and the sacredness of birth. And a lot of what she was talking about was just really touching, and it reminded me a lot of the things that you taught me over our time together is, you know, yes, everybody has, in one way or another, we are all servants. We are all doulas. And some of us are called to be birth doulas and the postpartum doulas and the life doulas. And anyway, it just reminded me a lot of you and the things that you kind of instilled in me of, you know, also like there's like we don't have to be in competition with other doulas because there's a doula for everybody. Like there's a certain special servant that is meant for each mom, and how special that is. It just really reminded me of you and a lot of the concepts that you and I have talked about over and over and over again. Yeah, so I just thought I'd bring that up.
I mean, if and you hear, and especially nowadays, okay, and you know, I've been doing this so long, you know, it's the business part of being a doula is foreign to me, and because I've just been a doula forever. So when I was taking certifications, that was not available. So when I dove into doula more, you know, hey, we want to attend births, we want to, you know, 20 years ago, we were just wanting to help women get through births and be non-medicated. That's the beginning part of douladom. Yeah. And I will make up words. So, so nowadays when you come, you know, kind of this far, you know, and talking about business and that kind of thing, I think we forget a special part of why we're focused on along with providing the service. And, you know, we get so busy doing that, then we forget that, there are going to be people that want you way before they would want me.
Yeah.
And then there are going to be people that, would come to me not because they didn't like you. It was just, and it wasn't necessarily personality. There is just certain things that we bring to the table in a different way. And that's with every doula. That's why I give out lists of names.
Yeah.
That's why, when somebody interviews, even if I have space, even when I can say absolutely, I can put you on my calendar, I'll say, now there's other doulas, please interview if you need to.
Yeah.
Because as doulas, we need to find that one thing that we nurture in that person.
Yeah.
And that's what being a doula is. We get to know them. We figure it out. And, and I'll stop and say that not all places have doulas that can work that way.
Right.
Because you do have hospital doulas that just walk in with a mom in labor.
Yeah.
And she's not able to see that mom before, but she is absolutely engaged enough with that mom that she's digging deep in herself and giving that mom what that mom needs at the moment. So, and she's still able to do that.
Right.
But we have to be, we just have to use our intuition on how we get that, and you have to be in tune with other women and what their needs are and all that. And I think, and everybody can do that. We just get so wrapped up in what position do I need to have her in? Okay.
Yeah.
Her contractions are this many apart and they're lasting this long. And okay, baby's this way. Okay. Do I rebozo or do I peanut ball? I mean, we get so majorly wrapped up in the really neat tricks that we learn at our doula trainings that we totally forget about the support system that mom hired you for.
Yeah.
Because, when somebody is searching for a doula, they are worried more about what they don't know and you holding their space and being able to trust you. Their priority is
not right now, guys. Go back upstairs.
Smack me in the face with that game.
No, we don't hit. That's not kind. You need to be gentle, please.
Told me he's gonna smack me in the face with that.
Okay, you guys need to be gentle and kind to each other. Okay, bye. Enough. That's enough. Go back upstairs. Sorry for the interruption. You're okay. Nobody's gonna. Okay, we don't hit. Hitting isn't okay. Go back upstairs. Sit on your own bed. Thank you. Oh, quiet time at the Hawkins house. Here comes little Miss Muffet. Come here, Charlotte. Come here. Come here. Come here. Do you want to come say hello? You don't want to come say hi? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Say hi, Miss Tracy and everybody. Say hello. Hello. Say hi. Hi.
She's so cute.
She's getting,
but anyway.
All right, Preston,
she's getting big.
She is. So sorry for the distraction here. This is what life is with 3 children. But
right.
Go back upstairs, Preston. It's still quiet time.
But what I was saying was, their first priority is not like how well we do something or whatever.
Right.
Their first priority is, am I going to trust her and do I feel safe with her?
Right.
that's first and foremost, and that's probably in the first 5 or 10 minutes of your interview.
Right.
So, in the grand scheme of things, do most of the people that hire doulas, do they care if we know how to use a rebozo? Probably not.
Very true. It's about the heart. It's about, the love and the servitude. Okay, I'll be done in a minute, okay? I'll be with you in a minute. Go back upstairs, please. Levi. Continues. But yeah, it's about the love that you have and the heart of servants, the servant's heart, to really love and serve the woman and the family, and the doctor and the midwife and the nurses and the hospital and the community at large, and I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have your mom's heart at, in your best interest, then, that's your job.
Right.
That's what we do. And so, if you're holding this mom's heart in the center of your hand, the entire journey that you are with her, as far as team building and all that kind of stuff, I think that's where, I've talked to several moms about being in bigger cities with bigger hospitals or bigger areas that they wanted to still have hospital births, but their doulas were not able to have relationships with those OBs because there were so many, or there was, or there wasn't time, or there wasn't a way, to really, really team build. So when they went into this birth, it was a little bit foreign of an atmosphere, maybe a little bit more tension, or the moms didn't know. The moms didn't know the relationship between the care provider and the doula. And sometimes,
yeah,
too. So, as far as team building goes, that takes time, that takes just a lot of energy. We've talked about that with you moving out there because it's there's so many choices and so many things that, but, I always I try to get everybody to just keep going back to the trust of birth. And not worry about the middle. It kind of all falls, in place. So
yeah,
I've had, several students contact me and say, I feel like a horrible doula because so-and-so, mom didn't get this or whatever.
I'm pretty sure I said that to you.
Things happen.
Yeah.
We don't sign contracts to guarantee our moms anything. I mean, yeah, these are not guarantees that any kind of birth is going to happen. This is just a guarantee that, oh yes, I'm going to support you every way possible to try to get you to get there. Yes, I trust birth. Yes, I trust your body. And we are going to do this as a team together.
Yeah.
And I think we really take it so much on ourselves to be I'm distracted, sorry. She's just too cute. No, that's okay. I think we get to where we think we're super doula, and we worry about our birth bags. We worry about, do we know all the positions? Do we know all of what mom's supposed to be doing? And and we just forget that most of the time just sitting there and shutting up is exactly what mom's doing.
Right, right,
And sometimes we don't have to do anything.
right. Okay, Preston, that's distracting. I need you to go back upstairs. Please. Thank you. I think back on all of my births, and I know some cool techniques. I work with the Rebozo a lot. I've learned a lot of things from you, but I think of those moments that I have really connected the strongest, and those moments that have been the most powerful for me as a doula, and probably for the mom that I was serving in those moments, were the moments where I just sat beside her, and didn't say anything, and just either held her hand or wiped her forehead or gave her a hug or cried with her. And it doesn't, the most special moments don't include, usually for me, the cool tricks.
Right.
They include the connection of the soul and what it means to really be somebody who is with somebody else through something. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think that those are the times where we need to remember, because there are hard times.
right.
When you have worked with a VBAC mom through her whole pregnancy to prepare for a trial of labor, and it go in 50 million different directions than what she thought it was going to be.
Yes.
It's okay to sit down on the side of the bed with her and grieve the loss of her vaginal birth.
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
But is it the doula's fault? No.
Right.
We take on way too much pressure to provide a perfect scenario.
Yeah.
And we got to stop that. That's unnecessary.
Yeah.
We're not magic.
Right.
Our only job is to support and to educate and try to get mom, to reach her goal. And I've talked to several students that are like, I've had some horrible first births. Does it ever get better?
Oh.
And so, and it does get better, because you go from, I'm not just supporting you in labor, to, okay, let's figure out why it didn't go right. And then you start teaching yourself a lot of stuff. You're not going to know everything coming out of certification agencies. You're not going to know everything. You do get, you do learn by a lot of experience, and what works and what doesn't work. And the key is to always be teachable too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And always.
Yeah. I think just a really good reminder is that though we are birth keepers, being that we are there to help hold a birth, help hold a woman and a family as they follow the path of birth. We are not birth owners, and it is not our place to control or to put our own ideas or opinions, or to ever have an idea that we'll know how a birth is going to go, because we don't.
Right.
And I think that as we keep an open mind and an open heart to whatever the path might and the journey might bring, that helps our moms be comforted in and trust the journey as well. So
I agree.
So on that note, obviously I'm a little distracted here. We are coming downstairs in upside down Tupperware containers and taking all of Mommy's necklaces off and all of that. So I should probably go ahead and close it out and
Okay, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this again, and then whoever watches this, whatever questions they have, if they want to ask, like the two of us, whatever, you know, like the differences between like a labor here and a labor there. You know, we might go over the things that you deal with and the things that we deal with here, and you know, we'll provide some good educational material too. So it should be fun.
I think it'll be really
Shark
fun
can come too.
to see if she really wants to push the button. I think it'll be fun to see, you know, the different ways that both communities across the country face certain things. So I like that idea. Let's do it. So anybody have some questions who want some comparisons? Let us know and we'll answer your questions. So I'm sorry for all the distractions on my end. This is the life of, careful, Preston.
No.
Preston. So on that note, Traci,
I love you.
I love you too. Uh-oh, come here. Can you say bye to Miss Traci and everybody watching? Can you say bye?
Bye.
Can you blow your kisses?
Bye.
Mwah. All right.
Okay.
Love and light to
Bye.
you. Love you. Take care.
All right.
Mom, tell no one to sit on